Now, the Norwegian gunman Anders Breivik says he studied al-Qaeda attacks, including 9/11, and read extensively about bomb-making. The 33-year-old, who killed 77 people in a bomb attack and shooting spree, made the admissions on the fifth day of his trial in Oslo. Well, Mark Stone is here with me in the studio. So, Mark, what else have we learnt this morning?
Well, another very difficult day, I think, for the families of the 77 people who he admits killing on that island in Utøya and also in the bomb attack in Oslo. The defence team are questioning him today, his defence team. As has been the case in the past, we see pictures here of him arriving, we'll see pictures of him later leaving, but his testimony itself is not being broadcast. They don't want to give him a platform over which to present his views, but what we're hearing about is his motivation, why he did it, and also his training. He says, as you mentioned, that he studied al-Qaeda attacks, the Oklahoma bombing of '95 in the United States, and the World Trade Center bombing in 1993. I'll read you a couple of quotes from him. He says, "I have studied each one of their actions," that being al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups, what they have done right. He goes on to say, "You have chosen tactics and strategies to dehumanize the enemy, those who I see as legitimate targets." So all this, of course, being listened to by those the families of those he killed. He was asked as well, interestingly, about whether he had any thoughts for those families of the bereaved. Interestingly, he said he accepted that he had inflicted terrible suffering on them. He said, "I see families of those whose lives I have destroyed. It's horrible to understand the suffering I have created," but then almost in the same breath, he says he's criminally sane. He says it was right to do what he did. He talks a little bit about the fact he didn't research fully who was on the island. He knew there were politicians on that island. He knew it was a political group that was there, political with a small p, but he didn't know exactly how old the people on the island were. And a little bit of information as well about who he blames for the reasons he carried out these actions. He says he blames the Norwegian and the European press, in part, for not properly reporting the views of the far right. He talks about censorship, and I suppose it's interesting to reflect that one Norwegian paper this week has decided not to print any photographs at all of Anders Breivik. Their view is that everyone knows what he looks like. They don't need to print any pictures of him at all.
No more oxygen of publicity. OK, Mark Stone, thank you.